to anybody who wants to. That's you.
Okay, so thanks for coming on, Callum. We have briefly spoke earlier on about Arbonne. I sent you the link and stuff like that. So basically, health and wellness company, and I've asked you onto this call to give you the opportunity to have a business with Arbonne. I started it last year, and I decided to put it to the side for lots of reasons. But Ruth approached me a few weeks ago and asked me to come back into the Arbonne business, which I've done, and I have not regretted since. And Ruth is going to tell you why.
Yeah, so what I'll maybe do is I'll actually just share my screen from the beginning, and I'll try and keep this relatively brief. For anybody who's like watching this back, or for you, Callum, just now, who's obviously on live with us, I can get carried away. I'm a bit of a tangent queen, so I'll try and keep it relatively brief so that we're not on for ages. Maybe if I say like sort of 15-20 minutes, and then you can then send this recording on, Thomas, to anybody that you want it afterwards. So I'm going to share my screen so that you can see. If you're anything like me, I'm a bit of a visual person. I like to see what I'm kind of like getting talked through at the same time. So can you see that centre of the screen there, Thomas? You're good with that?
Yep, you can see it, yeah.
Okay, cool. So for anybody who's watching this at any point and doesn't know anything about Arbonne, I'm going to speak as if we've literally just heard the word, which most of us hearing it for the first time. I was introduced to this company about 7 years ago by a girl that I barely knew, and she asked if I wanted to take a look at a concept that could potentially, if I was to let it could potentially build me a very, very successful income from it. To be honest, when I was introduced, I was a little bit like, is this thing going to be for me? I'm not interested. I know nothing about health and wellness. It's not something I have a passion for or an interest in any way. But I was open enough to take a look at the information. And to be honest, even like hearing the first couple of slides of this, I remember thinking, why is she speaking to me about this? I know nothing about this sort of stuff. But the latter part of the presentation, the last sort of half, all of these little like light bulbs were going off in my head, and I was like, oh my God, like, this is exactly what I want for my future, just in totally different packaging than what I ever expected it to come in. So I'm going to talk you through kind of where we started, what we're about, and all that kind of thing. For anybody who doesn't know, we are an online health and wellness company. We started in America and we moved through Canada, Australia, the UK, Poland, New Zealand a few years ago as well. We've got 6 markets at the moment that we operate in, and we're just about set to expand into different markets over the next few years. So we're going to globalise into other countries over the next 10 years. We've got lots more markets that we're about to open up into. For anybody who doesn't know anything about us, we basically specialise in nutrition items, skincare, cosmetics, all the sort of stuff that you would find in like the likes of Holland & Barrett or Sabres or Semichem or Boots or Frasers or Harvey Nichols, anywhere you would buy your products at all. We're basically the brainchild of a man called Peter Mork, and he's a Norwegian entrepreneur that set up products that were going to be clean and safe but also beneficial to use, meaning that they would actually do something good for your body and not just sit on there looking nice or smelling nice. They would actually give you results on the signs of aging, or for example things that were good for you in terms of like your nutrition items and things as well. Our ingredients list is very clean, very pure, very safe. There's a lot and lot of ingredients in the world that are actually banned from the governing bodies. They stop certain ingredients going into products. In the UK at the moment, there's 1,200 ingredients that are banned from any products at all. But Arbonne have gone above and beyond that, and they actually banned 2,000 because there's a lot of stuff that goes into other products that we can't be 100% certain will be safe for us down the line, or will be safe for the environment for us to keep taking it from the planet, basically. Arbonne will never negotiate if they can't be 100% certain that something is going to be still there 100 years later. So we are plant-based ingredients, high clean standards. We're co-developed with experts, so we are made in a lab. We are basically the best of safe science and nature, and obviously at the end there as well, scientific testing, a lot of which gets done outside the company, so there's no bias at all. All of our products are vegan, they're cruelty free, they're formulated without gluten, and you can probably see as well along the bottom there, we are informed sport certified, meaning that high performing athletes can also use our products without any sort of worries as to what might be in the products. A lot of athletes get tested for like doping and things like that just before their sports and their competitions, but all of our products are that clean that they don't need to worry about that as well. So we cover everything from the mind, body, and also the skin. So quite often you hear about Arbonne just defined as a personal development company wrapped up as a skincare brand, and I cannot say farther, like that is completely what I've found it to be. There's so much encouragement put into like growing yourself first, like growing your mindset, growing your confidence. We're surrounded in this company by such a high caliber of people that really fuel us with positivity, fuel us with all the skills and tips and tools that we need to build ourselves up. And it's funny because sometimes you don't even realize it's happening until you take a step back and you're like, oh, like over the last few years I really have become more confident in myself or become a happier person or whatever. And combined with the products, it's a great thing because you can also feel good on the inside and look good on the outside as well, which is fab. Just to give you a quick overshot of the products, we're not here to talk about products tonight or today whenever you're listening to this, but just to give you an idea, we have a massive catalogue of products, and all of that's available at arbonne.com if you want to go and have a look. But we do nutrition, skincare, makeup, body care, all the stuff in between. So baby care products right up to anti-aging. Just to think about it from a business point of view for a second, if you think about everything on there, we all use something on a daily basis that fills into one of those categories. Even at an absolute baseline level, we brush our teeth, we maybe wash our hair occasionally, and we put on maybe some makeup, or we drink a protein shake, or we take some vitamins, or we moisturize our skin. There's something that everybody that listens to this call will use. But also then take a second to just think. We all use something on there, but also every other person that we know and every other person that they know will use something on there. So from a business point of view, to have a product that everyone you know could be your market to speak to. This is not a niche market where you only have set amount of people that you can speak to. Quite often I get asked like, who are your target market? And I say, well, anyone with skin to use the product, and hair is optional. I suppose you don't even really need hair to use these products. There's a lot of things that are not hair care. So in terms of a business point of view, the fact that the products are very high quality because of what we don't have in them. We don't have all the bulkers and fillers and extra preservatives and nasty kind of chemicals and parabens and phthalates that are in a lot of other shop bought products just now. We have a high quality product that's always going to be in demand, always going to run out again and have to be rebought from somewhere. So it's a massive tick box for the fact that all these products are consumable. If someone was to say to me, okay, I get that it's products, I get that you are speaking products, but is this not a bit like Avon? Is this not a bit like direct selling, like going around your doors, speaking to neighbours and all that kind of stuff, your neighbour's door, sorry. And what I just want to touch on there is that's exactly what I thought when I was first introduced. And I can't explain how much farther from the truth that is, because we are a hybrid company, meaning that we can build networks who build networks, meaning that there's a very long-term sustainable business there. But we can also do direct selling as well, meaning that we can also sell products and earn commission on that as well. So I'll just talk it through in a wee second. But just to give you an idea of the types of reach out methods, the types of ways we speak to people, everybody nowadays knows like basically all of us, I would say probably 99% of the kind of first world right now is on social media or has access to social media. And we understand that from the touch of a button, we can be in another country in somebody else's living room, speaking to them about business or products. The one-to-one side of things that's on the right-hand side is predominantly how I've built my business. So either meeting people for a coffee or meeting somebody at an event and speaking them through all the information. But just now, because of everything that's happening in the world, everything's brought online, which is fantastic. So we're on a Zoom call this evening as we're recording this, and you can see Zoom there as an amazing multi-platform app that we can share our slides. We can show that person exactly what it is that we're talking them through at the same time as that person's starting to understand what this is all about. So most of my business at the moment is built via Zoom. You can share all this business concept with people. If they want to get started, great. If they want to try products, great. And if nothing at all, that's absolutely fine. But sometimes those people come back and want to refer somebody to you. Maybe it's like, oh, it's not for me, but my sister would be great at this. Or my uncle actually could take a look at this. He's looking for something else at the moment. Cross borders, we've kind of touched on the fact that you can build in different markets. So we're in America, Canada, Australia, the UK, New Zealand and Poland, and you can build businesses in any of those places. But actually, just to point out, even if you don't know someone in any of those places right now, you will know someone who knows someone in one of those markets. So you will have people in your network that could potentially join in your network linked to you down the kind of ripple effect that end up part of your team, but you don't physically even know they exist right now because they're in a different country, potentially speaking another language. So I've got parts of my team now that branch into other countries, into other markets, but I didn't know those people at the start. It was only because I introduced someone who got started, who introduced someone else who got started, who introduced someone else in Poland, for example, or in Canada. It's really exciting the way it sort of spans off. Logistics wise, if someone says, right, this is a lot of information, tell me what you actually do in terms of if someone says, yep, I love that mascara, or yep, I love that protein shake, or yeah, I just really like that, that cleansing wash. What do I do to get one? You go onto the website, arbonne.com, and you go and have a wee nosy on the product, and the first time that somebody looks to buy things, as they pop in their details like they would for Amazon or eBay or Topshop or whatever, it will say to them who referred you to this company. So in this case, you would pop in Thomas's name and a wee picture of him would come up and it would verify, yep, okay, that's definitely him. And then forevermore, that account, whenever they decide to shop their products, that account is linked to Thomas. So he would get paid a kickback of that time after time after time again. So he's not physically there collecting the money from people. He's not physically there every single time they reorder, dropping off products and collecting products and all that kind of stuff. It's all a very clean, very efficient, very 21st century way of making money where you can refer things to people, and if they continue to buy that, then you can be paid time after time after time after time every single time they go on and reorder from the website. Arbonne ship the products directly to that person via DPD couriers. And I should note just now as well that because of everything that's happening with the coronavirus, there's been a lot of question around like how how corona proof, I suppose is the way to put it, is this. Arbonne are classed as an essential service because we provide personal care products and nutrition products. We're classed as essential. So our business is untouchable just now. There's nothing that's going to affect us. All of our distribution centres, we have multiples of them, are being so carefully managed just now that even if, touch wood, one of them had to close down, we still have multiple others. So there's nothing that's going to happen and take us out of business in terms of not being able to distribute product. And DPD couriers that we're partnered with, who are our delivery guys, they're also classed as an essential service as well. So just now, the fact that people want to be able to stay at home and do their online shopping, we can guarantee that these products reach people within 5 working days of them placing that order. And that's amazing because people nowadays don't want to have to think about having to take a swift left and go up to Holland and Barrett and find that it's closed, or want to go into Harvey Nichols or Fraser's to get their foundation that they love. Like, we can ship that straight to their door without them having to worry about anything more than just their food shopping. So it's fantastic. Why is something like this now a really, really big thing to talk about? So taking away everything that's happening with the coronavirus and the fact that we know that we're untouchable from that side of things, we can still continue to build our businesses from our front rooms, from our kitchens, whatever it is that you decide to build it. As long as you have a smartphone, you're in business with Arbonne. So there's a few key ways that are basically coming together just now and why people are interested in businesses like this just now. So work habits are changing. Everybody nowadays knows someone or will know someone in the next few years that has an online business. We see it all the time. Social businesses are growing. People want to be able to work alongside people that they like, people that they can have fun with. They don't want to have to sit beside someone in a job for the next 40 years that they maybe don't get along with. They're looking for things that they can do in and amongst everything else that they're doing, and also build up via things like social media, or also build up via things like the way that influencers do. Just to point on that, actually, there are people in this company that have got to the top level of our company without social media, so it's not essential, but it's a really, really good kind of add-on just now. And then the fact that global wellness is booming. So at the moment, the entire global health and wellness industry is worth over $4.2 trillion. This industry is going nowhere. It's only going to go up and up and up. And if you think about it, from the last 5 years, so many people nowadays talk about things like protein shakes and talk about things like meal habits and all this kind of stuff. In comparison to 10 years ago, nobody really thought it was cool to go about in their sportwear. Nobody really thought it was cool to be using vitamins and protein and all that kind of stuff. So we're definitely in the right industry at the right time. And from a baseline level, if someone goes, I'm keen to earn an income online from using products that I use anyway somewhere else, teach me how to do it. All that we do when we start an Arbonne business is we stop buying from where we used to buy. We start buying from our own online store, and we get 35% up to 50% off all the products on there. And then we teach other people to do the exact same. So either to start in business or buy products at a discount. And they're cleaner, safer products than anything they're probably using just now. So it's a really clean, very safe way of making an income. I'm just going to zoom into this very quickly. We're coming kind of to the end of it, but I wanted to touch on the income side of things, because I know that for me, I was like, well, is this going to be worth my time? So if you look on the kind of left-hand side there, you'll see something that says level, and all of those things are in green. These are not geographically based. They're just because we set up in America. The Americans kind of like their fancy titles, and that's the levels that you promote through the company. And you'll see on the far right-hand side the average time to promote to those positions. But I'm just going to talk you through very quickly in my experience and what I know to be the case with each of these levels. These are the average earnings from 2018. We're just about to get our 2019 updated averages for the UK, but I'll just talk you through these because we have them in front of us just now. So everybody starts in this company as an independent consultant, and you move through these levels of the company based on product turnover. We're not paid on people signing up. We're not paid a penny for someone starting their business and not buying any products, or for their teams not to buy any products, or for them to not distribute products to people who want to become product users. So we're only paid when product is moving. The average earnings in the UK for independent consultants is an extra £500 or so a year. And the reason that that's quite low is because most people who are independent consultants, they just want to use it as a discount card. Most people as well don't stay at independent consultant very long if they want to build a business with it. Thomas at the moment is actually in qualification for the level you see there that says district manager, and that's after like 6 weeks of him being in business. So it's amazing. I think you got there after like 12 days, right? To qual for district.
Yeah, I got 12 days, yeah.
Cool. Okay. So district manager on average in the UK takes 7 months, but I have no doubt that Thomas will do it in 1.5. It took me 2 months to be district manager, and the average income at that point in the UK is around about £2,000 a year. So it's an extra £2,000 on top of everything else that you're doing. This business for most people is a very, very, very much part-time on top of everything else thing to do. When I got to district manager, in fact, when I got to area manager, I was working 3 jobs, and most people get to the 3rd, if not the 4th level of the company, working other things alongside. This is just an add-on as a bit of a safety net, as a bit of a building security around your life, or for a lot of people just to build in a bit of a pension plan. Not that us in our 30s are thinking about pension plans, but in our 20s and our 30s just now, it's actually being said that we don't even know whether we're going to actually have pensions by the time we come to pensionable age. So to build something up that builds you that bit of security on the side is a really, really smart thing. And people nowadays are so switched on to the fact that they need a plan B. It's not really an option anymore. To have a plan B is a very, very smart thing to do. The next level is area manager. It says that it takes 20 months to reach. It took me 11 months to get to that point, and it actually took the girl who introduced me 4 months, and she was only 18 years old when she got to district manager, when she got to area manager, sorry. So it just shows it's effort-based, it's up to you what you want to do with it. So on average in the UK, just under 11,000 on top of everything else that you're doing. So what would an average, say for example, an extra average £900 to £1,000, what would an extra £1,000 look like for you in your life working part-time online on top of everything else that you're earning just now? For most people, that is a significant pay rise. The nicest thing to note is that at area manager level, your paycheck actually becomes willable. So if, touch wood, something was to happen to me or to happen to anybody who gets to area manager level or above, you can leave that paycheck as a willable asset to a family member, a growing income that can grow and grow and grow as long as your business is growing. And regional vice presidents, the third level to get to, on average takes just over 3 years to reach. The average income in the UK is just over 41,000 per year. And that for most people in the UK is a significant full-time income, let alone working a business like this just part-time. The girls that I know who've got to that level have taken anything between a year and a half up to 7 or 8 years to reach that level. But what I always think is that it doesn't really matter how long it takes someone to get to that point. There's no you must do by a certain time. It's really just asking what you want out of it. If somebody comes into this and says to me, I just want to earn an extra £500 a month, I'm like, boom, let's create you a plan to do that. If somebody says, I want to come in and earn an extra 10 grand a month, there's also a plan to do that. You just condense what you want to do. And then the top level of the company is national vice president. On average takes about 5 years to reach that point, and on average in the UK, £150,000 earning. That's on top of what other people are earning. That's also part-time. You're not doing anything more as a national vice president than what you did as a district manager. You've just become better at what you do because you've been doing it for longer. If you've got any questions around this, obviously let Thomas and I know afterwards, and we'll be able to send you some more information. And then
you also get a shine in you in Mercedes, don't you?
I should mention that, you're so right. So we're partnered with Mercedes-Benz, and that's something that for me ticked a massive capability box when I heard about it the first time. So we've been partnered with Mercedes for 40 years since Arbonne was started up. We've been in the UK for 12 years now, and there are hundreds of people on the UK roads driving their white Mercedes with Arbonne, because when you get to the third level, the regional vice president level, you get given a cash bonus of £500 every month on top of your paycheck to go towards the driving of a white Mercedes. It has to be white to represent the purity of the product, and it has to be less than 5 years old as well to represent the quality and the safety of the brand as well. But both those specifications are absolutely fine with me. The last slide, if I just touch onto that, why is that not where? That's us. The last slide there is just kind of running over what we've said already. So independent consultant is the way that Thomas decided to start with Arbonne. That was a way where he could earn an income from referring things that he's using and loving anyway. It costs £30 to sign up as an independent consultant. £30. Like, I've had nights out that have cost 3 times that amount and not given me a penny back. This kind of business is something that you can do alongside everything else that you're doing with a relatively low sign-up cost that can return your investment tenfold, like hundredfold, 1,000-fold, whatever you got. Today we actually have an amazing offer. If anybody's interested either later on, or Callum, if you want to talk to Thomas after the call about this, feel free. We have an amazing offer that when you buy roughly about 5 or 6 products this evening, when you go over a certain level of like points, we call it, but we can keep you right on that, you also get £93 worth of freebies as well. So that's an offer that we're doing just up until midnight tonight. Any orders that go through, then you'd get all the freebies on it, which is amazing. And for anybody starting up as a new consultant anyway, when you order a few things, you also get a free gift. So you'd actually get 4 free gifts if you were to sign up today, which is amazing. And the last thing I just wanted to touch on, something that we don't really tend to go into too much detail about on these presentations, but I just want to reiterate, like, right now, we are all in this really crazy, really weird time all over the world. To be able to have a community of people that encourage you, that are positive, that are focused, and really encourage you to have a focus and a purpose and something to jump out of bed excited for in the morning right now is something that you would, I like, it's worth its weight in gold, in my opinion, and it's something that I never knew anything about before I started Arbonne, because I never knew something like this would ever happen. But to have something like this in my life right now, and I'm sure that Thomas will agree as well, to have something where it's a community of people that are like scooping you up every day and they're excited and they want to speak to you about positive stuff and really keep your mind in a really good place. The personal development side of this company and the community side of this company is, in my opinion, take away the money, take away the Mercedes, like take away all that stuff. That is something that is really, like, in my opinion, money can't buy. It's really, really special in our company. So I'll just finish up there. I'll pop this screen sharing thing off. And if anybody, if there's anything that you want to add, Thomas, absolutely feel free. But if anybody's got any questions and wants to ask it, obviously just ferry them to Thomas. And if he can't answer them, then he'll come to me and make sure we get all the answers that you need.
Well, just to reiterate what you were saying about the community thing, Ruth, so Ulrika, one of your new team members, didn't know her but less than a week ago, and now she features in my story every single day. I mention her in my story every single day because we do the green shot, and that's what it just shows you. I don't even know her, never met her, and we're doing green shots together, and I mention it in my story every single day.
I know, she's from Sweden, lives in London, like, you would know people, exactly. I know, it's exciting.
So, great business opportunity, and I welcome anyone who wants to take this opportunity, because, like Ruth said, it's me. Ruth, you said to me when we were doing our chat, you can make a paycheck next week.
Yeah, exactly. You can actually get 5 paychecks a month from Arbonne. In a 5-week month, you can get paid weekly, and then we also have our main pay that comes through halfway through the month as well. So there's so many opportunities to make money in this if somebody wants to. Ultimately, if somebody just wants to use it as a discount card, that's absolutely fine, we don't judge. But if somebody wants to earn an income from this, it's a very, very lucrative industry. And actually the network marketing or the social marketing industry that we're a part of turns over more every single year globally, more than the music industry and the film industry put together. So when you think about it like that, that's a massive, massive, massive industry. Word of mouth referrals is something that we all do every single day on social media to each other if we're out and about. Like, we do it all the time anyway. Why not get paid for something that we know how to do anyway? Kind of makes sense to me. But yeah, anything else you want to add? Wrap up?
Yeah, so just if you're interested, take Ruth's point of if you're going to do it tonight, because you get all the free products. So good. I can talk anyone through that who wants to sign up tonight. Like I said, £30, that's crazy for starting up your own business. People would pay 100 times that, maybe more, just to start their own business. So plus you're going to get some free goodies. So yeah, give me a wee message and be quick to get those free products.
And if you want to chat over any more questions or whatever, and you want to take
definitely.
But yeah, it was lovely chatting. I'll let this go. I'll turn this record thing off just now.